Okay, Joshua, let's go ahead and take a look at the ad. I've got it pulled up here in a separate window so we can take a closer look. Okay. Now here's the thing. Gosh, I have to be honest with you. I'm not feeling it. I think that the ad can be much, much more engaging. And let me give you my ideas. I think they're going to make a lot of sense to you. Okay, the background image has some sort of a treatment in it. It's got a very, very, very heavy kind of rose or kind of maroon colored overcast to it, and I think it's really pulling all of the wonderful detail out of the image. I highly recommend not adding that effect to the image because let the image speak for itself. I mean, where you're talking about scenery in some of the most gorgeous area in the world. So let the imagery speak for itself. The next thing, we've got this big box here with your type over it. And I think that's really, it really kind of disengages the text from the ad. And it doesn't allow this kind of synergy, this kind of symbiotic relationship between the text and the ad. It just basically looks like this has been pasted over the ad, almost to the point where it could appear not to have anything to do with the ad. Do you see what I'm saying? There's such a different visual demeanor in the text than in the background that it almost looks like they're unrelated. Now, I know they are, but there's not a real heavy visual synergy. There's not a cohesive relationship between the text and the background, which there should be. The type in the body copy is a bold, and if you remember the specific Amethyst Bay style guide type requirements: Arial bold for headlines, Arial bold italic for subheads, and then regular Arial for body copy. Okay, so I think that the masked image looks good, by the way, so that's fantastic. But I really would like to see this more of a traditional ad using traditional imagery in the background and not using this big box to place the type over. Let me describe, and if you take a look over at the announcements area, and if you take a look at even a lot of my video critiques in response to your classmates' work, I'm kind of describing this general formula for the page mechanics of the magazine ad, and that consists of this. And the reason I'm doing this is because I think it's going to allow a very clean and precise layout, so that when it comes time to place this work in your student portfolio, layout isn't a concern. So the student portfolio the portfolio reviewer, or eventually a hiring professional, will be able to look at this piece and say, this is good. I mean, it's a good, solid, cohesive piece. So my recommendations are this: just add a headline. Okay, Valentine's Day specials is fine, but also add a subhead. And this is going to improve the hierarchy as we move through the page. You have used this background image with no overlay over it. It's just a nice, beautifully adjusted image. Okay, and then Valentine's Day specials for your headlines, and then a subhead, only available at Amethyst Bay, or available at the Caribbean's finest resort, something like that. Some sort of a subhead. And don't forget that subhead should be set in Arial bold italic. The body copy itself is the type is very large. It's also set in bold, and I would remove it from the background, and I would just take it and I would place it somewhere in the ad and place it right over the existing imagery. That's going to create a nice symbiotic relationship between type and image, and it's going to work very well, allowing, as I said, this beautiful synthesis between the two. Don't set in bold, set in Arial italic. Also, you've only got 2 paragraphs, so you don't have to indent. I wouldn't indent. I would just use a space between the paragraphs. Reduce that type size. Right now at 8.5 by 11, that's probably about a 12 to 14 point type size. I would reduce that to 10 or 12 tops and set in regular Arial. The address area is also very, very big. I would reduce the heck out of that, place that over here next to the logo. You even have a little bit of room over here to move the logo to the right a little bit. And then I would take this this masked image, and I would move it more towards the bottom somewhere of the end. And the only reason is because psychologically, you see rocks at the top of the image, it creates visual uncomfort, and that's just basic visual visual communications. Something like this should be more closer to the bottom. And that just a great way to remember that is just to follow gravity. Anything that seems like it should be on the ground should be placed on the ground. Anything that seems like it should be in the sky. So, for example, you wouldn't show an image of an airplane in flight down here because that would be uncomfortable to the viewer. Make sense? Okay, those are my recommendations. I'd love to see you make these changes. I think that the ad itself has a lot of potential. I just think that the background image with that color overcast on it is just really, I think it's just not doing the ad a lot of justice. And I'm not trying to sound discouraging at all. You know me by now, 5 weeks into the class. I'm going to be nothing but honest in my critiques and forthcoming in terms of what I'm seeing as working and what I'm seeing as could be improved. So please don't get discouraged at my comments. That's not my intent at all. If you have any questions or need further direction, please let me know. Also check your type, your spelling. It's not Atheist Bay, it's Amethyst Bay. So you definitely want to check that spelling. Okay. Other than that, all right. Any questions, comments, concerns at all? Please let me know. Thank you very much.